Hey guys, it's ARIBA and I'm back with another Dyson Airwrap tutorial for you guys. So I've been getting tons and tons of questions on how to make your curls last longer using the Dyson Airwrap. So as always, I'm going to be giving you guys lots of tips and tricks in this tutorial on how to make your curls last. I'm also going to be showing you guys how to do beach waves. So beach waves are not the traditional curls that you get with the Dyson Airwrap. I have done a tutorial on the beach waves before, but I wanted to film an updated video for you guys. And I'm also going to be showing you guys a few tricks I've learned to get a little bit of extra volume using my Dyson Airwrap. So let's just get right into it. So as always, I'm starting with my hair shampooed and conditioned. And at this point, you're gonna wanna put in any hair products that are gonna help your curls last longer. So that could be a stronghold mousse, that could be a liquid gel, whatever helps your curls last longer. So I'm gonna be starting with a detangler in my hair. It is a 7 seconds from Unite. And I frigging love this detangler. I used to use it when I was hairdressing in a salon. So I've actually been using this attachment from my Dyson Airwrap to detangle my hair, and it's been working out really beautifully. It's just like makes it so nice and quick to kind of get all the tangles out. So once all of my tangles are out, now you're gonna wanna go ahead with whatever styling cream that works best in your hair. I'm gonna be using Unite Laser Straight, and I like using this because it does have a little bit of a hold, but it also helps me smooth my hair out quite a bit. I'm just gonna rub it into my hands and just go mids to ends. So now we're gonna basically pre-style our hair, and I like using the brush attachment for this because it gives me a little bit more control when I'm pre-styling, but you can also use the pre-styler that comes with it. Especially if you have really flat hair, that one is actually probably a better option for you. Again, frizzy haired girls, this is an awesome pre-styler for you. So I'm gonna blast it on high heat and high air. When I'm pre-styling my hair, I like to focus on my roots, and I like to blow dry the hair going upwards so that the roots dry standing up. This is gonna make sure that I get the most amount of volume in my hair once I'm done styling. So at this point, you wanna make sure that your roots are 100% dry because this attachment does not dry your roots. So that's what the pre-styling is for. And as you can see, my ends are still soaking wet. And if your ends have dried up quite a bit by the time you're done pre-styling, you wanna go ahead and wet your hands and just kind of re-dampen your ends because this is a wet to dry styler and your curls will last a lot longer if you style them on damp hair. So now we're gonna go ahead and start styling our hair. And we're gonna, as always, start from the bottom and kind of work our way up. So you can see here, roots are dry, my scalp is not wet, but my ends are still really damp. And that's exactly how you want your hair to be. So now I'm gonna very quickly unlock this attachment. We're gonna go ahead and start using the round attachments. And these are the longer barrels. If you haven't seen my review on the long barrels yet, I will link it down below in the description. I've pretty much just been using the longer barrels ever since I got my hands on them. So traditionally we would go in like so, and kind of curl our hair that way, but that's not what we're gonna do today. Today we're gonna go in and we're gonna turn our Airwrap upside down. We're gonna turn it on and we're gonna wrap it all the way around like that. And then once it's pretty much dry, you're gonna give it a cool shot for 10 seconds. And then you're gonna turn your Airwrap off and you're gonna cup it into your hand like this. Do not let go. Now you're gonna grab your favorite hairspray, and right now I've been using the Unite GEO 365 hairspray. This one is kind of my favorite at the moment. You're gonna spritz the hairspray as you release, okay? And that's gonna give us a really pretty beach wave. Isn't that so cute? And now we're gonna do this side, and I'm gonna quickly change the nozzle. And remember, this part is cool, so this is what you wanna grab to pop it off. So when we're doing this beach wave technique, because we go in upside down with our Airwrap, you wanna make sure that the nozzle that you choose is going in the opposite direction of where you're curling your hair. So right now, I'm curling my hair back, but the nozzle that I'm using curls your hair forward, because when I turn it upside down, it'll be going in the correct direction. So again, I'm just gonna grab 1-inch sections. And starting at the top, we're gonna just gently twist all the way down. And once it's curled, you can basically like kind of let go and it should hold. And that way you're not using too much tension on your section, or else it's going to take forever to dry. So once you feel like the section's dry, you can go ahead and give it a cool shot. And we're just going to turn it off. Cup the section in our hand and spray it as we release. A light or medium hold hairspray works best. You don't want to go too strong or else it makes your curls too sticky and hard to manage. And remember, when you guys are taking your wet hair down, to utilize your shoulders to keep your styled hair and your wet hair separated, okay? So because we kind of finished off on this side, and this is the nozzle that I have attached already, I'm gonna actually continue on the next section on this side so I don't have to change the nozzle again. So now I'm just gonna kind of start from the back and I'll work my way forward until this whole side is styled. Kind of make sure the roots and scalp are nice and dry and the ends are nice and damp. Coming along really nicely. So you guys see, the Airwrap always gives you these really soft, blow-dried kind of waves and curls. And they're really shiny and bouncy and light, as opposed to like your curling iron or curling wand curls that are a lot more defined. But you don't get that same like shine and bounce that you do when you're air styling. So now for this side, again, I'm just gonna change the nozzle. We're gonna attach the one that's going forward this way because I'm gonna be turning it upside down and curling back. So these beach waves do start off quite defined, but you'll find that by the time you're finished styling your hair, they do drop a little bit. So expect them to fall a bit. So every time I take a new section down, I like to take the styled dry hair and push it behind my shoulder and keep the damp hair over my shoulder in the front so I can see what I'm doing. So again, because I ended on this side and I already have the correct nozzle on, I'm just gonna continue on this side. And we're gonna start from the back and work our way forward and go directly at the root and start to wrap and give it a gentle twist as you wrap. And remember, you don't wanna keep a tight tension on this. You wanna keep it nice and loose so that the air kind of makes its way all the way through. So remember, as soon as it's dried and curled, just kind of push it back and keep it separate from the wet hair and just keep moving forward. So now that this side is done, we're gonna go ahead and pop on our other attachment and start on this side. And once we get to the top section, I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I learned using the Airwrap, just kind of playing around with it, on how to get like a lot more volume once I get to like the money shots up here. And because my roots are already dry, I don't need to like wrap this right up against my root because I've already spent the time freestyling it and it's already dry. So we're basically focusing on our mids and our ends. So once my cool air is on, I like to kind of move the section around a little bit just to make sure that it's not damp and there's no moisture left in the section. And once I feel like it's completely dry, then I'll turn it off. And again, just cup it in my hand and spray it as I release. And now that the sections are kind of cooled down, you want to just run your fingers through it and make sure that you haven't left any damp areas before you take the next section down. It's best to check now because it's really hard to check when the hair is still feeling a little warm. So I feel like I left a section here damp. I just need to find it. So I'm just going to very quickly go back and just wrap it up for a couple of more seconds. Make sure we get all that moisture out, and I'm just going to wiggle it around a little bit just to make sure that the heat goes all the way through. And then again, blast it with a cold air. Just kind of cup it in my hand. Nice and quick. And everything else feels really, really good. So we can go ahead and now take down our last section. And remember, the top section is the money shot. And I'm just gonna let the hair kind of fall where it wants to. And this is kind of my natural parting. So in this last section, I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that I have been playing around with to get a little bit of extra volume. So we're gonna grab this whole panel of damp hair and we're gonna take the styled hair and we're gonna push it back again. And on this side as well, we're gonna just kind of push all our styled hair back and we're only gonna keep the damp hair in the front. So now we're just gonna curl our hair as usual. We're gonna start at the back and then just work our way forward. Going in upside down at the root and twisting the hair as we wrap it all the way down. And remember, you don't need to be too close to your scalp or your hair for this because your roots are already dry. So for this last piece, I'm just gonna separate my bangs and then curl this last little section. Nice. So I'm gonna leave this curtain bang out for now, and then I'll show you guys how I style my bangs all at once at the end. By the time you've made your way to the top here, you should kind of have the hang of the technique. So you'll find yourself moving through the sections a lot quicker at this point. And then again, for this last piece, we're just gonna separate all of the bangs out of it. I actually find the beach waves to be a lot faster than the traditional curls using the Airwrap. So now I'm gonna kind of roughly fish out my bangs. And you wanna find the nozzle that's pointing downwards, so like forwards. And we're just gonna wrap the Airwrap like so. And once it's caught on, we're just gonna roll it up. So I'm just keeping it blow dried downwards like this, and I'm finding that it gives me a really, really nice shape when I blow dry my hair downwards like this using the Airwrap. So now I'm just gonna kind of blast it with a cool shot, and we're gonna release. And I don't use hairspray on my bangs because I find I don't really need it. And now I'm just gonna kind of push them off to the side. And they're laying so perfectly. Look how nice they lay. Okay, so now for our little trick. Go kind of parallel to the part on the top of your head. We're gonna leave the bangs out for this. And you're gonna go parallel to the part right against the root, and you're gonna lay the section out. And we're just gonna push it in the opposite direction very lightly because you don't wanna mess up the curls that you also just created. And then we're gonna blast it with cold air. Again, keeping it going in the opposite direction. And then we're gonna release. And then I'll show you guys the difference. So this is the side that we didn't do that on, and this is the side that we did. So you see how it gives us a little bit more volume and a little bit more of like a bump on this side as opposed to this side. Gives it quite a bit of volume, and it just takes a couple of seconds to do. So it's definitely one of those little tricks that I've been playing around with that I've been like loving. Again, go parallel to the part and just kind of lay it flat. And kind of keep bumping it in the opposite direction that you want it to go. Don't forget the cool shot, and you want this to be like right on the root. And then just kind of release, and it'll give you so much more volume. And we are pretty much all done with our beach waves. I really hope that I answered your questions on how to get more longer lasting curls with the Airwrap. A couple of things you guys want to keep in mind for those of you that are finding yourselves getting a little frustrated with the Airwrap. Just know that the finishings that you get with the air styler are going to be very different than the finishing that you get with your wand or your curling iron, because you are styling your hair with air. So the finishing that you get is very similar to when you round brush your hair with a blow dryer, or even do beach waves with a blow dryer. So they're gonna be a lot less defined, but they're gonna be a lot more kind of bouncier, airier, and softer, and it's gonna give you a lot more natural finish. Again, make sure that you use strong hold styling products. Make sure you hairspray each section before you take it down. And all of those little tips and tricks should help your curls last a little bit longer. And that is it for this tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you found it quite informative. If you have any other questions regarding the Airwrap, please leave them down below in the description and I will get back to you. And I will link all of the products that I used in the description down below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.